Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to take a look at some summer activities that you can enjoy if you plan on visiting New Hampshire in the coming months. So what we'll do is we're going to start off by looking at some of the state parks and beaches that the state has to offer. So right now I'm on Google Earth and I'm just above Hampton Beach right now. As you can see, Hampton Beach State Park is located right here at the southern tip of the main strip there. And if we take a look right at the strip, I'm going to drop us down there so we can see a street view. And I'll start us right over here. Now this area is pretty popular during the summer months. Out of all of the beaches that are in New Hampshire, this is probably one of the busiest. Not only is it closer to the Massachusetts border, and a lot of residents from down there will come up during the summer. A lot of people visiting New Hampshire travel over towards the coast, and this seems to be a hot spot for everybody. Now as you can see, this is the main boardwalk here, and you'll see shops and restaurants, and there's arcades further down on the left hand side there. I'm just going to spin us around, and this is really once you start to enter the main strip. You'll see a bunch of multifamily housing down here as well as short-term rentals. There's also restaurants in this direction as well as you're entering the main strip. And as we continue in this direction here, as we come down a bit further, there's going to be a playground down there. There's also a stage when they host performances. And what I'll do is I'm going to zoom in right over where the actual stage is so you can take a look at that. You can see the playground right here, and I'll drop us down here so you can see that. Right here off to the right-hand side. It's always a popular spot for families, and you can start to see more restaurants now on the left-hand side. They do have bars and things of that nature here. You'll have comedians that come to perform. The Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. Let's see, we're getting close to the... And I don't know when this actually was taken, but it looks like it's probably off-season. You can see it looks like a lot of the businesses are closed off. There's not too many people walking around. And actually, I had done a driving tour of Hampton Beach at one point. I think it was maybe about 6 months ago. And I had gone during the off-season, and you could really tell a noticeable difference, especially if I was to go during the summer months. You can see right here, there's the actual stage. And during the summer, this strip right here of 2 lanes gets completely backed up. You'll be basically at a standstill. Now, let me zoom back out here. And although Hampton Beach is a nice place to visit at least once, if you're brand new to the state or you're just visiting, it's probably not going to be the place I recommend going to regularly. A place that's a bit nicer than this, if we take a look here on Google Earth once again, would be Northampton. Also known as Northampton State Beach. And you can see it's just up the shore there to the north. What we'll do is drop the little guy down here and take a look. All right, in this area up here, a little bit more of an affluent area, especially as you get into Rye. You're going to start to see a lot of larger homes in Northampton. Looks like kind of an overcast day, but much smaller area. You can see the sign right here. Right there for Northampton State Beach. Little less busy, not as much foot traffic here. Overall better location in my opinion. Now if we go back here and take a look, I had pulled up both the website for Hampton Beach and Northampton State Park. You can see one of the things that Hampton Beach has right on the main page here is different performances that are coming to the area. So that's potentially one of the benefits of going to Hampton Beach, along with the restaurants. You know, you have vacation rentals over there. You can see that they continually rank very highly, especially in the state of New Hampshire. And then they have the entire calendar here on the website too, so you can take a look at all the upcoming events like fireworks, and looks like they have yoga on the beach. So there's a lot right on the website if you go there to take a look. Now let's go over to Northampton. And let's take a look at some of these pictures. It'll be a little bit nicer probably during the summertime. You can see here, it's not going to be as nice in terms of the sand, in the amount of area you have to lay out on the beach, but for being a little less busy, it's private, a little bit more rocky as you can see, but it's a nicer alternative to Hampton Beach. Now the next area we're going to head over to, let's go back to the map, is Wares Beach. And you know what, before we go there, let's take a look at a couple more right here on the coast. That'll make it easier if we do it that way. So Wallace Sands State Beach. And as you can see, Northampton was right there. We just continued further north up the coast. So basically we're heading closer to Portsmouth. And if we take a look here, let's see where I can drop. You can see there's quite a bit of houses over here too, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to see. Yeah, so this is pretty common. You'll see all these houses right up against the ocean. Pop back out again. So this is the big parking area for the beach. We'll zoom in right over here. That should give us a pretty good view. Then I'll also pull up their website as well. Now parking for all of these beaches, at least for Hampton Beach, it's a lot of street parking, and then you do have parking lots away from the main strip that you can park in for, $10, $15, $20 per day, depending on the time of the year, and then just walk right up to the boardwalk. Whereas, as you can see here, they do have a main parking area, which, will cost a small fee. And once again, a smaller beach here, similar to Northampton, but once again, nicer area, a little bit more private. This is a spot I'd recommend if you're going to be going on a vacation here. Maybe you're going to be renting a small house, just want to enjoy the area. So you've got Wallace Sands. We'll take a look at the pictures here. As you can see, that's a pretty busy day. This is probably right in the heart of summertime, maybe June, July, or August. There you go. That's a pretty good view of the beach. So nice. It's a nice little beach. Not as rowdy as Hampton Beach can get. Let's see if they have anything as far as... I know the parking lot, you can see right here, the parking lot can accommodate up to 500 cars. So that's quite a bit. And as you can see, the parking fee for Wallace Sands is $15 there. And they show you the hours right over here. Let's see, I think I overlooked the parking fee at Northampton. So as you can see here, it just depends where you're parking and what time of the year. But a lot cheaper when you have the metered parking, which is similar to Hampton Beach. So just a few dollars. So the next one we're going to head over to is Genis. And once again, we're really staying along the coast here. And this is actually located in Rye. So we kind of jumped over this. This probably would have been a better one to touch on before we went to Wallace Sands, seeing as Rye is just after Northampton. But they're all right in this vicinity here. These are some of the less known beaches, at least for people from out of state. If you're a local, you're very familiar with these locations. And as you can see, a lot of really nice real estate in this area. Just off to the right hand side, you can see a small parking area. Some restaurants right across the street. Once again, smaller, nice family-friendly area. And as we can see on the main website for Genis, same thing once again. And you wouldn't expect a huge difference because they are all right on the coast of New Hampshire here. And the coastline isn't that large in general. I think it's around 13 miles altogether. There's a nice shot, just giving you a good view. That's definitely during the summer months. And really, during, I'd say June, July, and August is going to be the peak for the beaches around here. Once you get into September, it's starting to cool down. And then anything prior to June, May, yeah, you might go there, but you're probably not going to swim. You can see there. Let's just take a look at the parking. Once again, you'll have metered parking. And I think that parking lot that you saw there did have meters inside of it. So just a couple dollars once again. You'll see the hours of operation. All right, so let's head on to the next area. And why don't we head over to Wares Beach now? So this is the one I was going to touch on just a second ago, but I didn't want to leave the coast. Now, Wares Beach, despite its name, is actually on Lake Winnipesaukee. And the thing is, Lake Winnipesaukee is the largest lake in the entire state. And as you can see, we just jumped all the way up into the lakes region here. What I'll do first, let me zoom in. We could take a look at it, and then I can pan back out so you can actually see where it is in relation to everything else here. Now, Wares Beach might sound familiar because this is that area where the motorcycle week happens up near Laconia. I believe it's still once a year. It's right around Father's Day, I believe. Yeah, let's take a look at the pictures. So as you can see, there's some aerial shots here. I'm trying to find something that's right on the ground. Take a look at the actual beach area. Yeah, the quality's not the greatest, but this gives you a pretty good view. Right here, that's actually Wares Beach. And once again, it's not going to feel a whole lot different. I mean, Lake Winnipesaukee is so large that if you weren't from the area, you could probably mistaken it for the ocean. But, you know, based on where it's located, it's more in the central region of the state. Very, very clean, along with Newfound Lake. So it's definitely a popular spot to go. These look like some older pictures, too. And whenever you see the really, really high-priced homes in New Hampshire, they're generally surrounding Lake Winnipesaukee. So let's move on to the next one here. And I just touched on Newfound Lake, and this is actually right along the outskirts of Newfound. This is Wellington State Park, which is located right here in Bristol, New Hampshire. Very nice small town up in the Lakes region, right off of exit 23, off of 93 North. You can see they're talking about it here. As far as parking goes, or the fee, adults $5, children $2. So this is great, especially if you don't own a boat or you don't have, you know, a lakefront property that you can access. This gives you the ability to swim in Newfound Lake and take advantage of the beautiful scenery up there. It's just a really, really nice area. And the water is extremely clean. It's fed by underground springs. It actually ranks among the cleanest in the entire country. And that's not saying that Lake Winnipesaukee isn't clean, because it also is, but I don't think it ranks up there as highly as Newfound. So the next one we're going to take a look at, well, you know what, before we go there, let's pull up Wellington State Park on the Google Maps here, Google Earth. You can see not too far from Lake Winnipesaukee. See if we can get close enough on this one. You can see the state park right here, and then the beach is over here. This might give us a close enough view. Yeah, and the thing with Newfound is that it's surrounded by homes. So there's quite a bit of lakefront property where you might see a home across the street, and then they actually have their dock right up against the water. But it's a big lake overall. Even though it's not as big as Winnipesaukee, there's still a lot to do in this area. There's also a place that I really like. It's called Sculptured Rocks. It's actually in this area too. I think it's about an hour drive roughly from Bristol, but it's definitely worth checking out. So let's head on to their website once again, see if we can look at a few more pictures. Yeah, some nice views here of Newfound. You can see that's when you're entering the park. So not a huge beach by any means. It's not going to be like Hampton or, you know, Northampton. These lakefront beaches are much smaller. Now the next one we're going to check out is Echo Lake State Park, and this is up in North Conway. This is a really, really nice area. A lot to do in the summer months here. And in the winter months, there's also Attitash Mountain, which is a great ski resort. There's also Cranmore in the area. So year round, it's just a popular spot. Now let's just take a look here before going over to the map. You can see the fees, the hours over here. Let's just take a look through these pictures. And this is up near Franconia Notch, so it's just like a really beautiful area. Yeah, you can see some nice views there. There's a lot of hiking opportunities up here too, which is it's great if you want to come up, maybe do a long weekend or family vacation. Yeah, some beautiful views. And we'll take a look at where this is located here. And now while we're on the topic of North Conway, so let's give you a brief overview. You saw Storyland popping up over there too. That's another really, really popular summer activity in the state. All right, so you can see we're over here almost near the Maine border. There's Conway right here. And I'm going to pan out even more to show you where we are in relation to everything else we've just looked at. Okay, so coming down here, here's Concord. So this is where we started. So we had Hampton Beach over here. Hampton State Park was down here. You can see Northampton here. So the Northampton State Park was there. Then we had also stopped at Genesee Beach, which was in Rye there. And then we went to Wallace Sands. So we worked our way up quite a bit over into the Lakes region when we went over to Wares Beach next to Lake Winnipesaukee, which was up here. We went over to Bristol here to Newfound Lake. That was Wellington State Park. So it gives you a lot of options here. So if you're coming up from southern New Hampshire, you can go into the Lakes region to enjoy these water activities. You can go over towards the coast. And let's go back up to Conway, where we were just talking about Echo Lake. Now, another nice thing about North Conway here is that it's the location of the Kancamagus Highway. And now I know everybody has their own way of pronouncing that. I've always grown up saying Kancamagus, but this is the beautiful, beautiful route, especially in the fall months when you can take a look at all of the leaves changing colors. Even in the summer, it's great too. There's a lot of rivers right off of it. It tells you right here the actual length, 34.5 miles long. It connects Conway to Lincoln, New Hampshire. So if you go back to the map here, there's Conway, and there's Lincoln, New Hampshire. And Lincoln is probably one of my favorite towns up here in the northern region of the state. So let's take a look at Lincoln real quick, and I'm going to show you that. Beautiful area, very homey feeling downtown. There's a lot of rivers up there. So it's a great spot to visit during the summer months. There's also campground. There's some hiking opportunities. And then there's a lot to do in the wintertime too, because you have Loon Mountain right there. See it right here on the right-hand side. And I'll also pull up North Conway next too, because there's a few activities that I wanted to mention in that area. So this is the actual main strip right here. You would get off the highway just to the south there. And here it is. This is as you're driving off of the highway. You take a left. You can see Loon in the back there. A lot of hotels, mainly for the winter time. You can see it might not look as great in pictures, but it's a very nice area. There's a lot of ski shops off here. There's restaurants down there. You can see the mountain views everywhere. There's some older homes in the area, but overall very, very beautiful. Now let's go take a look at North Conway. Now, there's North Conway and then there's Conway. North Conway has a lot more of the activities. That's not to say that Conway's a bad area too, but okay, so let's zoom in over here. I want to get us right to the main strip. And now what I'm trying to show you is that there's a bunch of hotels down here. There's outlets. You can see there's a golf course down here. And it's just like a very nice kind of vibe there with the downtown. So we're right now in the main section where all of like the shops are. You can see really nice area. It's got that kind of old New England charm to it. And there's a lot of small towns in the state, but this is one of those areas that you definitely have to visit if you're just coming to the area for the first time. Let me drop us a little bit further down. There was one spot in particular that I used to visit quite a bit growing up. Now what I'm going to do to find the actual, it's kind of tough when you have an aerial view like this to tell exactly where you are, but I know what the name of the hotel is. One of them is Red Jacket, and it's right up here. I guess it's actually technically in Conway, so watch, this will take me right down. Alright, so I think I want to drop us right over here. Yeah, so this is the other really nice spot. And those hotels, really big hotels set off from the road there. And let's go this direction. They actually have an indoor water park at this hotel. This is another place off to the left-hand side. It's a little miniature golf. You can see there. And we're also getting closer to another hotel down here. And here it is off to the left-hand side, I believe. See if I can zoom in here so you can take a look. The Fox Ridge Resort right there off to the left. That's also a really nice hotel. It's been there for a long time. I've stayed there many, many times. They actually unfortunately had some rooms burn at one point. I think last year there was a fire in a section of the hotel, but hoping that by this point they've been able to remodel what was damaged. We can see if I pull us over here, you can see where the hotel is. It's set way back from the road. They had an outdoor pool, and there's an indoor pool. You can see it all right up here. Now, let's make our way a little bit further down. I wanted to show you where all the outlets are. All the shopping areas down here. You get a really nice view of the mountains over here too, which is cool. Yeah, some more hotels here. You can see a lot of retailers around here. Just have to keep going a little bit further here. Alright, so you can see some more shopping around here. They're kind of scattered throughout, so it's a little bit difficult to show you in one frame here. It's a very outdoorsy area. A lot of people are really into that type of thing. So you'll find a lot of places selling camping gear and kayaks and things of that nature. So let's take a look at another activity that's up in this actual region. And that is at Attitash Mountain, one of the nice ski resorts. See, it's in Bartlett, New Hampshire. But this is actually really, really close to Conway. And you'll be able to see right now when we pan out to it. So you can see it's just up above it. And let's go right here, take a look at the front of the mountain. And what the Alpine slides are is it's these little self-controlled cars that are driven down the mountain. You're basically sliding in these little pathways. And I'll show you in the pictures in just a second, but they usually in the summertime have a huge setup here with like a small water park and trampolines, like bungee jumping trampolines. And the Alpine slides are generally all set up right in this area. I think that's actually looks like, yeah, you can see them right here. This is where they usually go. Now, I'm not too sure if this is still in business. It's been a long time since I've been up there. But you can see this is what they look like. You have the control here, which it'll apply the brake. And then other than that, they're not electric or anything. You're basically using the momentum of the hill to take you down. Sometimes they're known to be a little unsafe. This one isn't the exact setup that I remember. When I used to go there, it was this right here. This is what they used to look like right there. So you're in this kind of tunnel area here. It kept you in here, but if you went too fast, there was potential to go outside of it. So that's another popular activity up here. Along with that is Storyland. Now Storyland, it's more catered around children. It's an amusement park up here. It's very, very popular, especially during the warmer months. And you can see they have all their details right on the website. And they're starting to expand more and more with what they have to offer. Now let's take a look on the map. You'll see where this is. They say this one's actually in Bartlett, New Hampshire as well. I always thought it was in Glen. So let's go down to the street view. We can just take a look at the front. You'll see about a parking over here to the right hand side. And then the actual park is out here behind the entrance here. So this is definitely in the off season. You can tell with the trees, so it's not busy. But during the summer months, this whole lot over here will be completely full too. That's all additional overflow parking. But that's another really, really popular area during the summertime, especially if you have children, you're coming up here. Another one is Santa's Village. Now this one's in Jefferson. And as you can see here, they're showing you right when the season begins, May 27th. I'll show you proximity-wise. It's relatively close as well. Close enough in the sense that if you were up in the northern region of the state and you were staying at a hotel and you wanted to take a few day trips, these would be really enjoyable areas. Let's get down to the street view. You can already see all the additional parking over there. Looks like this is definitely during the actual peak season. See the lot's completely full. So you can see the main sign right here to enter the park. And if I go over here, you can take a look at that parking lot. You can see that this is what it looks like in the summertime at these parks. Completely full. Oh, I panned a little too much. Yeah, it looks almost like a car dealership. So it does get busy. You know, these are popular spots, especially for families. Another popular destination is Clark's Bears. It used to be called Clark's Trading Post. This one's in Lincoln. So if we go back here, this will be back over towards that main strip that we looked at in Lincoln, New Hampshire. So if you're taking advantage of the Kancamagus Highway from Conway to Lincoln, this is a spot you could stop in. Now, I don't know if they still do it, but when I went here years and years ago, they had other things to do, like they had Segway tours, off-road Segway tours through the woods. And there was like some water activities too. There it is. And I mean, there's so many other things we could touch on. The list would just be so long. There's Water Country. There's Canopy Lake Park. So we have a lot of water parks too in the state. This is more so just a lot of the activities and, you know, the seacoast, the lakes, the northern region. Some of those other ones are located in southern New Hampshire. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on, that it isn't actually in New Hampshire, but I recommend going at least once, or if you're a resident, you'll probably end up going there more often, and that's York, Maine. From Manchester, it's about an hour, virtually just right across the Maine border. Now, they have two beaches. They have long sands and they have short sands right here. Now, I'll pull it up on the map so you can see. We'll go over to, you know what, we'll go to short sands. And we can also check out long sands too, but these are just really nice beaches, very clean. Gets a little bit cooler there because you're right on the Maine coast. You can see right here. So let's zoom in. And I usually go up here, at least in the past, I used to go up quite often, but I don't go up too much anymore. But you can see there's an arcade down here. This is the short sands beach, so it's a little bit smaller. There's a playground there, some basketball courts. It's a little bit overcast this day, so it's kind of hard to make it out, but the actual beach is over here. This is a one-way street. It wraps around. You can see hotel over here. Just a very nice area. And you would probably end up going to a place like this. Long sands. Especially after living here, you might get kind of sick and tired of going to Hampton Beach or some of the other beaches just north of Hampton. You can see long sands right over here. This would be a little bit more comparable to like a Hampton as far as what they have here. A little bit more shops to choose from, restaurants. You can see here, if I pan around, much larger beach. Still going to be a lot of houses too, but you have some restaurants mixed in here too. But overall, that's going to do it, guys. I don't want to make the video too long, but those are some of the top spots that you could visit during the summer months, especially to stay cool. You know, it doesn't get extremely hot. I mean, it can get over 90 degrees on some occasions, but for the most part, it stays about in the high 80s. Humidity can be relatively high. And, you know, there's just a lot of times where you're looking for, you know, a fun summer activity or a place to stay cool. And some of these are definitely destinations I recommend checking out, whether you have a family or you're just going up there to explore the area. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.